1725. Let's light this up. End quote. We're now in session. Okay, where are we at here? The agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda this morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody liking it?
Yes.
Motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're sending it. Consent agenda. Approve the EDA minutes, September 9th, 2025, the EDA Treasurer's Report and Summary of Non-Resident Inquiries. What is that one?
What, the non-resident inquiries?
Yeah.
So this is a list of inquiries from whether it's businesses or realtors of
Just kicking the tires?
kicking the tires, yes.
Okay.
So the EDA had asked that this be included every month.
We have new tire kickers?
Well, every inquiry, so this is phone calls, emails, any in-person meetings.
So do we have any new tire kickers?
Oh,
Because just to say it's on there doesn't mean we know who's kicking.
generally, yes, I couldn't say who's new in October that wasn't kicking tires in September.
Okay.
But, yeah, generally there are new ones every month.
Seems like
Essentially,
there's-
it's a call log.
Yeah.
So it's not always new people, it's whoever
Right,
calls is
correct.
logged.
Good.
Seems like there's ongoing interest in storage facilities.
Yes.
There's a couple of,
Yes,
I don't
and
know if it's the same
that's-
person or if it's just,
Both. I would say there's, probably about 3 that are looking at storage facilities. And I'm gonna say just generally at any given time, any time of the year.
Are they having a hard time finding them? Is that the
Everyone's having a hard time finding land.
land?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is there a running list that's out there and available? Or no?
Yep, that's the one that's in the packet.
Okay. Oh, with the colors?
Yes.
Yeah, got it. I was wondering what that was. What do the colors mean?
So the colors, so generally, making up numbers. Let's say every month there's 30 call logs or something. A lot of them are repeat customers, and so on the chart, it's difficult to differentiate what's new versus what's continuing. And so everything is listed as an anonymous until they apply it for a permit. But the color coding is so that you can track, I'll say, repeat customers.
Okay.
So, there might be 30 inquiries on the call log, but only 5 are customers.
That's a great explanation.
So the colors, meaning like you have customer 1 that calls 5 times in a month.
Got it.
It's not 5 new customers, it's 1 person that's called 5 times.
Okay, anything else we got to add to the consent agenda? We good with that? Motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion, all in favor?
aye.
All opposed? Send it. Open forum. Hayden, we got anybody on the line?
No.
Come on, man. We gotta have somebody who wants to watch us. Okay. Nobody in the audience
this
will be
morning.
online. We're the stepchild group, right? There is no one here for open forum. We will move forward to old business. We have some traction in the old business today.
First one is damaged abandoned utility boxes. So if anyone that's driven down Balsam, you may notice that the ugly box at the left is gone and the clean green box on the right is there.
Boy, that's a
really nice.
improvement.
Bravo.
Bravo, yeah.
1 down, 417 more.
6,000 to go.
How many thousand to go?
And a year,
What I'm sorry, what?
and a year.
And you,
Took 1 year to get one?
I'm more concerned with the fact that they recognize this and they see that they have other issues. Have you had any feedback from this telco group company people?
No.
They just throw this in there and say appease, go away.
Well, I called to complain about the 2 on Balsam, but, there's, I don't know, there might be 2,000 boxes in Dayton. I don't know how many of them are damaged. There's
Right.
more than just these 2. In having conversation with the city council, the direction is for the property owners to contact the utility companies and to complain about their boxes if they're damaged.
I know we've talked about, can we put, or have we put a little blurb on our portion of the website?
Yes, we have.
Okay. Just no one's seen it. And we can put
Well,
it in the communicator
yeah.
too. but-
Yep, it's was in the communicator, I think it was last winter, it'll be there again this winter.
Okay. I mean, that's all we can do is
For the
kind of try to
reporting
reach
issue?
out to people.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think we got to communicate. Hopefully, people will identify, and then we can.
Well, we'll get the word out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the hard part is there's a lot of property owners that just don't care.
Well, if their phone stops working, they're gonna care.
No one has a land.
Yes.
I have a landline because I have DSL, and it's out about every 2 days.
I bet you're gonna care. Okay. Hey, this is baby steps, man. I'll take it. It's only
Yeah.
been a fight for how long?
Well, at least we have an industrial area, commercial area that's
I
looks
mean,
good.
look at the difference. Even though it's just a green post, sometimes little wins are a win. I'll take that as a win.
I'll take it as a win.
Yeah, we fought hard for that.
Yeah.
Okay, sidewalk repairs, any traction there?
No, so we've run out of season this year. It's on the list for 2026.
Any traction on the Spur, other than King Solutions being all for it?
No, so this is something I don't know where to go with it, so I've stopped working on it. I've emailed the list of questions for BNSF to the EDA members. I guess the direction for my request for the EDA members is to reach out to businesses and see if there's any interest in having a spur.
So that letter came from you then, actually. I thought it came from him at first, but
What?
the letter on the railroad spur thing, you didn't see that?
So it was the email that was given to the EDA members after last month's
Last
meeting.
month's meeting.
If I got it, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I got it.
I got it.
Well,
Everyone wants to know.
I've been thinking about this, in our last meetings. I think, to me, in my mind, there's a difference between a railroad spur and a transload facility. With a transload facility in Rogers and in Fridley, I don't know. I see a spur as a spur line coming off the existing railroad to Lake Kempstone to deliver, train cars, and the same with King Solutions. Sure, King Solutions would probably love to have a transload facility across the street, that would reduce their costs, but in reality, they're not gonna have a transload, facility for one guy, or, especially if there's one in Rogers already, so, to me, Kempstone, Railroad Spur, I get it, because they can, BNSF can bring in a box or a carload of cement and just leave it there, and then they use it as needed, so I'm not sure that, in my opinion, that Railroad Spur and a transload facility are two completely different things.
Yeah, I'll say that the spur that's in Rogers is owned by Lyman Lumber. They're not willing to share it with other companies, so
Right, and that's a spur.
that's a spur with a crane.
But they own it. It's theirs.
Right. And the same lumber company in Osseo, or Maple Grove, on 81 there, and 169 where it crosses. They also have a railroad spur where they bring, carloads of lumber in, but that's not a transload facility. That, transload facility is open for anybody that wants to.
Does Pine Point have a spur?
No.
Nope.
Well, let's pump the brakes a second here. If the lumber company made an effort to put a spur in there, it's obviously working. For them.
For them.
And
Of
now
course.
They're holding back all the other people that want to come in here and subgrade it. I mean, look at the big picture.
A spur is like, to me, a loading dock for a company.
Sure.
It's just a way to get rail cars in.
Yeah.
But,
Transload facilities where you got multiple companies bringing in
bringing in a
trailers
kind of
or whatever and loading them.
I think staff's direct question at this point is, he's out of ropes to pull.
Yes.
I mean, to me, the thing that has the most potential, if it has any potential, would be more of a transload versus I mean, if it's just a spur for Semstone, then let them do it. You know, I mean, we're not gonna have anything to
Their
do
official
with it.
position is they ain't gonna stop growth. They're not gonna get in the way of progress.
Semstone.
Semstone, that was their official position when we met with them.
Which would indicate to you that they're probably open to a transload type.
Yeah, but they're not paying for it.
No, I
Okay,
understood.
let's do this. Let's see where King Solutions is, because they're the most next to Stemstone benefit from this. Let's see if they've got any traction on their side, and if we gotta have somebody with some more muscle push the right buttons at the BNS or the railway thing, then let's take the load off of you and say, let's shift this.
Can I just ask a question? So does King Solutions want a transload facility, or do they want their own railroad spur?
I just asked him. We'll find
Okay.
that out. Jim Berger is our connection there, and he used to sit with us on this very same group.
Yeah.
He's a
Okay.
very smart guy, very intelligent, and if he didn't think it was a thing, he's the one that turned me onto this years ago. He said, we really need one of these in our town, and he said, but we couldn't make it work. Well, here we are. So let's see where Jim falls with this. Stand by. If you're out of ropes to pull on it, we get it. Maybe we just need some different muscle.
Sure.
All right, Lent property plan. That was the low-level concept that Ellert's put together.
Stantec put together.
Stantec.
Yep. Yeah, so this is the listing that will, I'm gonna say will be listed soon.
It is listed
It
currently.
is listed now,
Yep.
okay.
Nice. Everybody like that?
Yes.
Looks like pretty decent, doesn't it? Any, do we have that listing in here?
No, this came out after packets went out.
Where is it, what platforms is it listed on?
It's CoStar, LoopNet, Crexy, Mincar, Moody's.
Just all the commercial sites?
All the commercial sites, yeah.
Got it.
Excuse my voice, I'm getting over a cold, so.
Can you get us, everybody a copy of that?
Yes.
Any objections of us listing it locally for you or helping it get out there?
I guess, what's the question, like local MLSs, is that what you're saying?
Locally, social media.
Social media? Certainly if, yeah, are you talking about like an EDA specific site for,
I'm sorry.
in the EDA specific site?
Nope, well, why not?
I think we have this, I'd have to look. I think we've posted this on Facebook.
On our Facebook EDA?
What?
Does EDA have its own Facebook?
No.
Okay. Well, then, we have a Facebook, and we have an actual EDA site for the city of Dayton proper.
Website,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there any reason why we wouldn't put it on there?
It might, no, there's not. So we've got, I have to look what we have. So the short answer is yes, we'll post this on here.
One more time.
We will post it on here,
Okay.
yes.
You guys okay with that?
I'm okay. However, it seems to me there should be a link, so that the city isn't, and I don't mean to say bothered, but
Traffic with it?
if for the traffic gets put to AIG.
Yep.
They can call the city anyway, there's names on there too, call.
I'd be supportive of it, but I think we do need to realize that if we put it like on the Dayton community page and those kinds of things, that we may start getting people that are potentially opposed to it, that kind of thing. I don't know because typically the process, once, say this was sold to someone, then they're gonna go into the concept plan and all that, they have to notify all the owners within, was it?
Quarter mile.
Or something, and that's when the people start coming out of the wood that, like, we don't like this or whatever. So I'm 100% for it, I'm 100% for being transparent, but just realize it could create a little bit of,
It goes both ways. yeah.
Controversy.
That's a him problem, not our problem. He gets to field those calls.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just saying it
exactly.
could, and that, some of it may all be good, because people might be excited that something like this could be coming,
Finally getting some development in Old Town, other than
Yeah.
triplexes.
I'll mention, so you're talking about the Dayton community or Facebook page. That is different from the city's page. The city will post on the city's Facebook page, not the community page. That's for someone else to repost it.
Yeah, you'd have to
I
repost.
think we know some guys.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
It could be a link to the brochure itself and also just say, any questions, contact Zach with my phone number so that there's no,
Right.
confusion on that as well, so.
I mean, because literally, if you set a precedence, you start doing this, and maybe here's a guy across the street that wants to sell his, well, I want that listed on the Dayton site as well. Or, whoever.
You can't have enough PR.
No, I don't disagree with that.
There's somebody who knows somebody who robbed somebody once who sat with somebody.
Yeah.
They're gonna sit and see that and go, okay, there's something real now. Okay, good. We got a fork in that one? Tax forfeit property, the PID, 31-120, 22-13-0010. We named it the Triangle property years ago. What are we talking about on that one?
So this is a motion to purchase the property. So this went to the city council last week. The council agreed to provide a loan to the EDA, $300,000 plus 4% interest. This gives the EDA money to be able to purchase this property from Hennepin County. So the motion, and I apologize, I've got a copy for Tim, but I don't have a copy for everyone else. This is approval of a resolution to purchase the property from Hennepin County. So I apologize for not having.
Is the amount closed session?
Well, we won't speak numbers.
I know,
there's
that's
no-
what I'm asking.
No, so in closed session, we have, just to give a preview, we have closed session about 2 properties of selling them. So this is about buying it from Hennepin County.
Okay.
This is an open session item.
Open session, okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve the 0010 Triangle property.
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Everybody okay with this? We've been fighting for this for a long time.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Let's put a fork in this sucker, huh? I've been waiting a long time for this day. Motion carries.
6-0. We're missing Scott,
Where's Scott? Yeah.
traveling.
Okay, so we motioned by, who's our first motion at?
Dave Fashatten. Then second was Sean Lucer.
Super Dave? Right there. Sign it right there. Right?
Whatever you say.
Just your,
Oh, Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Print your last name.
And the second was?
And you'd also just print your last name on the second. There we go.
What's underneath motion? What is that? Do we need to worry about that?
Motion approved.
Look at that. That's
Yeah.
history, man.
6-0.
You're important or something.
What's that?
I said like you're important or something.
We've had a lot of practice. Okay, that is handled. All right, for how long, Jack, have we talked about Balsam Lane signage? I mean, since like 8 years ago,
4
right?
years. Yeah, well, maybe it's that long. I don't know. A long time.
It's been a long time. We finally have in front of us some solutions that we can look at. Some solutions that aren't going to slow us down, get some progress for Balsam Lane to have business access, because a lot of people, one of Wiser Choice's biggest problems was they didn't know he was there and they couldn't move his sign. When the city denied him to move his sign, he packed up shop and went someplace else. He pulled the pin. And that's in, whose building was that?
Oh, Shermer's
Bill Commerce
building.
guy. Was that?
Shermer's building.
Shermer's, yeah, Keith Shermer's, not Rick. Or was it Rick? No, it was Rick Shermer's.
It was Rick, yes.
So he decided to go back to where he wanted to be, and therefore the thing kind of sits open and closed once in a while. We don't have full occupancy all the time. Bad for taxes, other than the guy owns it and he's renting it out. So my proposal, which has been the proposal of this EDA for a very long time, that we put a sign up there, a sign that can be changed to all the people's, the businesses in that area. The businesses at that point will be funding this sign. It is not a taxpayer-based thing. However, we need someplace to start. Change the signs to who's there. Rick's building might get a lot of play in there. We don't know because he's got 7 suites per unit, isn't it?
No,
How many's he got per unit?
there's only, in that count, there's only 4 units technically,
4 total.
4 total, 2 on
Okay.
each side.
And then the rest of the buildings from there down to the other suite, which is Scott's building, and he has
4,
6.
4 or 6.
No, I think he's got 5 or 6, including himself. Times 2, times 4, because you got both sides, or do we just aim them towards the streets? I have a sign guy. He was working on some numbers for us. We have to see if we want to pursue this, and do we want to do it electronically, or do we want to do it in a print? I kind of like the electronic thing because it adds a little niceness, a little technology to the area. That's what's on item F. Talk to me, guys. What do you like to see?
Well, yeah, I think about this, I've been looking at signs, when I drive by a commercial area. First of all, do we have a name for this area? Is it Balsam Street Business District or whatever?
Got to make it all 96 letters, right?
Well,
We pay by the letter, man.
I understand, but, for years as a resident, Dayton, it's Rain Tree. Okay?
Or the
You-
PDQ or something, yeah.
Yeah, PDQ, Rain Tree, the dentist that I use is down the street next to you. That's Rain Tree Dental, right?
Well, I think you're right. It's all Raintree Development. And
So,
Linda Mackey owned it from that point all the way to the other side.
first of all, because then, the businesses could easily say, well, we're in the Rain Tree Plaza, which is along Balsam, and then have a sign says like Rain Tree Plaza, and then boom, all the business there. So anyone coming on 12 would know that, hey, that's Rain Tree Plaza versus the current sign that really isn't very encompassing for the whole area.
Yeah. So we have to decide whether or not we're going to call it Balsam Lane or Raintree. That's what you're saying?
Well, I think you just have to have a name, and then you go from there. So,
Because on one side it's Raintree, on the other side it's Balsam.
yeah, well.
I think you can figure out the name at any point.
Yeah.
I think the types of signs, I definitely would say digital. That's the way, 100% digital. And if the businesses are paying for it, why not?
Makes it easy to acquire different names in case you get flip outs all the time.
Right. And you can do advertising, you can do, it's just, I hate to say it's a no-brainer, but if businesses want it, what's wrong with
Well-
that? Give it to them.
If I was a business, I would want to know what's that going to
Absolutely.
cost yearly.
Absolutely. Now, back in the day when we had this discussion, and we revised the sign ordinance, which was, what, 7 pages at the time? We ended at 7 pages.
It was long.
And then planning picked it up, but the guys at planning at that point ended up to be about, what, 30 or
I
some
think it's 16
stupid
pages.
amount. Do we have to revisit that, or do we have to,
You will. So
Yeah, there's a digital sign
this is-
issue.
right now, so the text that's written out there is what's permitted. There's a maximum 8-foot height, which is not going, I don't think is going to work for a multi-tenant sign. Elsewhere in our business districts, we do allow 16 feet. That was changed earlier this year, so my recommendation would be to also increase the height from 8 feet to 16 feet to be consistent with other districts.
oh, absolutely.
I don't know how tall the current rain tree sign is. It's probably taller than 16 feet, but this is just for demonstration purposes.
Isn't there also, like, so if the sign is existing, you can
You can replace it.
place it without, because you're like grandfather.
Yeah, but this ain't our sign.
I'm sorry?
This ain't our sign.
No, I
No.
just threw this on top of it.
It's
So
right.
the
That's
idea
it.
here is to provide an example of what could be there. So let's say you replace the rain tree sign, you can have a 12 square foot static display, which I guess my thought is to combine this sign as a gateway entrance monument, so have the city, I think the city would own the sign and rent space out. We allow I'm going to say a changeable dynamic gas sign for motor fuel stations, that's 16 square feet, and then 48 square feet as a dynamic display or digital display. So it's that 48 square feet that would be essentially leased out to businesses that are along Balsam.
Step 1 is, do we want a sign?
Correct.
Step 2 is we decide what we want in the sign. Step 3 is we decide the size of this sign. So we need a step 1, right?
Do you want a sign?
Is there a step 1A, which is, don't we have to find out what, like that existing sign is kind of a bit of an issue to me, like you're, you're not gonna put another sign like right in front of it.
No, this
So-
would be a replacement.
So you have to either replace this sign, you gotta talk to this fellow that owns this and see what his
They would-
thinking is.
They'd be willing to grant the city an easement for.
They would,
the
okay.
city-
Tony's up with that?
Tony's okay with that. So this would be a sign that benefits Raintree, but predominantly is not paid by Raintree.
Then we ain't gonna have enough spots on that sign. We'll have to make that way bigger.
Well, if it's digital,
You can't. So- Well, I should say you'd have to amend the ordinance to do that. I don't know, I think that'd be a little bit of a struggle, because when you change an ordinance, it's typically citywide. I guess the question would be is, can you work with a 48 square feet digital sign?
What's the beauty of a digital sign is it can rotate every 15 seconds. It can be a different,
Who pays for that? I'll pay for 10 seconds, you pay for 8, we'll divide the quarter up and split it by 2. If we're paying for a sign, we want our designated spots.
the sign isn't added.
Then we need to amend the resolution, or amend the,
That would be a huge sign to do not only the
Yeah.
corner businesses, but everything on Balsam.
okay. Let's put a big sign on there.
And I would think that the city of Dayton, we are at the cusp of having a lot of commercial areas like this, I suspect.
Once we pick a path, you're right.
Yep, so you go into Northdale in Coon Rapids, and there's signs all over what commercial entities are in that area.
Yep. And look at the Ramsey sign. Have you seen that one over on Sunfish, next one up, across from the RVs?
Ramsey.
It's tall. It's not in the way. People can see when you come out. You're not worried about hitting traffic. The only win we have here by getting a bigger sign is to keep it up off the ground and you can see around it.
That Ramsey sign you can see across the river at
Excellent.
night from everywhere.
But we're not supposed to be sighting our scopes on it.
I'd
So
like,
Tim, is your thought, like if you don't do digital, you would do, or maybe it's partially digital, but then you'd have like a plaque for each business? Is that what you're thinking?
For electronically?
No, for the sign. Well, like, so you have, I don't know, part of it's digital, but are you thinking like you need to have like some kind of nameplate, like for each business that's in this
Electronically.
electronically?
Yep, and then if you had
But
to merge
each-
two together, you can turn that into a city event, a Holly Dazzle parade.
And the guy looking for Hutner driving by, if he isn't
Yep.
there at the minute, your name is up there.
And if you're not, he drives by. you
Then he
miss it.
drives right by.
That's why we want a static.
That's why I wonder if it wouldn't be digital, would it? It seems like the plaques would be static and then any
Cheaper.
digital component would be something that would
That's it.
need to change.
There's probably 30 businesses between Balsam and what's in Raintree Plaza.
we better get a big sign.
30?
There's probably
Really?
somewhere between 20 and 30.
See, I wouldn't have guessed that, because there's no sign that tells me that. Wouldn't have guessed it.
Well, we still got to cover the first point. Do we want a sign? We'll work to hash the other problems out later. But we have to make a decision as far as yes or no.
I think signs like that are great, promotes the area, and even it's kind of interesting to put the Dayton moniker on the top. But certainly to let people who drive by understand what businesses are there.
If you have a place for, and I don't know if there's 30 signs, or 30 businesses, but there's probably space for 30 businesses. If you have 30 different signs, no one's going to notice one over the other 30. Like, it's too much information.
I just don't know how you're gonna get 30 business names on the sign unless the sign names the business.
How about a scrolling marquee? It starts in, business name rolls, next one comes on, next one rolls, next one rolls, and by the time you know it, you can see as they start to come in.
Why don't we find out how many businesses are actually in there and how many businesses could, I mean, there's two things, right? Current businesses that are there, and then there's the potential for how many. Because that's really what you want to know, is like how many could be there if it was all full? How many are there now? I'd be shocked if there's 30, but there may be, I don't know. And then you gotta, I think you're right, we gotta decide, yeah, sign makes good sense on both ends of this road. How do we do it within either the current regulations or if we need to change those?
You're gonna need to amend that, just by the sheer number of people.
And that'll be difficult, but I mean, nothing can't be done. And then, who's, essentially the businesses are gonna pay for it, but would we have an easement for Dayton city easement on both ends?
If this is an EDA project, the city would own the sign.
Right. And so the city would collect the dollars from the businesses.
Yes.
So that's the other thing we'll have to figure out is like, are we actually gonna be break even or better as a city?
I think this is a win, we've talked
Yeah.
about this so over and over. We need a motion to approve that we're looking for a sign, is that what we're doing now?
I just need direction on what you want to do. I mean, the start is, so I've reached out to a number of sign vendors. I haven't heard back on price quotes, but essentially, what would it cost to build a sign within this parameters of what the city code allows now?
Well, personally, that I have a shop on this line, I don't think it's big enough. I think we need to amend it, and it needs to make sure that we can put everybody on there if we have to. Not everybody's gonna wanna be on there. Who knows? So I believe that if Tony's gonna grant us does he have a sunset on this, or, I mean, once the
No.
easement's there, it's there?
No, it's a short conversation, so,
Does he put his name on there as well?
yes,
And are we charging him because he's the guy who gave up the spot?
that's up to the EDA.
So in his eyes, he gets a free sign, state of the art, all the cool stuff, and doesn't have to pay for it.
That's probably what he's thinking.
That's what he's thinking.
But you would be too if you're saying,
Well,
hey,
yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
his,
give
it's
up.
his location.
So if it's
But
an easement,
what
is that
location do we have on the
permanent?
other side?
We don't have one.
Okay, so we'd have to figure that out too.
Essentially, it would be
Talk
at
to
where
Scott.
Scott's Sonic's sign is.
Okay.
Sonic sign was put up by the previous owners, Ted or something. And it was a nice sign at the time. I think it's a nice sign, but it only services his area.
So what happens to the easement? Easements are permanent essentially, right?
Essentially.
So if that corner is redeveloped at some point in the future,
The sign would
this
stay.
stays.
Nice. You like that?
I don't know
Mr.
if I
Chair,
like any of it, to be honest with you.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, I was going to bring up what Councilmember Fashion had mentioned, that just to keep in mind that if there is an easement for a public sign on this property, that's not to say that that couldn't be a deterrent to any future potential redevelopment, having a public sign on that property. So not that it may not be a problem, but it could be a potential barrier for people looking at redeveloping that property. So just wanted to point that out.
This is our standard gateway signs. This is kind of the direction the council has provided, of, like what we would put at gateways if we had funding to put up additional signs. So this is a schematic drawing for Dayton Parkway as you come in from the south side of the city. We do not have this in our budget, our long-term budget. So if we were to do this now, it would come from EDA funding.
Would it be considered kind of part of that monument approach that we
Yes.
talked about?
Yes.
Because there's like 8 or 10 locations where this should be put up, but we don't have the funding?
Correct. So we just have this one sign on Dayton Parkway.
Right.
So the idea here, and I don't know what the dimensions of the sign are, but it's large. I mean, it's this, if you could walk out there, it's the size of a car. So the idea here is like the Dayton logo would be just as big as it is here in this sign.
So you're thinking of like a combination monument business park sign?
Yeah, so on Balsam, if you recall or remember, we do have a city monument sign on the north side of Dayton Park, or of
The Boy Scout
West River
sign.
Road.
The little brown
The
Boy Scout
wooden
one.
sign, yes.
Yeah.
The historical monument,
It is a historical monument. There's several of them around town.
yes.
Just a quick notice, Champlin has the same gig, but theirs is electronic.
They have a billboard,
Where
yes.
is that?
109th and Winnetka.
This one's at least lit.
Okay.
It resembles the outline of it. It's like that, but in the center, it has like a screen, and it does the city of Champlin, and it's got some things on there. And
Is that new with the intersection?
sorry,
Is that new with the intersection reconstruction?
no, it's been there a while. I don't know them having a static sign like that. I remember
Okay.
going by and going, well, that's pretty cool, because you're always paying attention to signs.
Yeah, so I know in Winnetka, there's a large, it's just lettering that says Champlin and has the logo on it. And that's been there for probably 15 years or so.
And that's on 109 Winnetka. Well, then I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I remember going by it one day and going, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That was part of, the city had to build a retaining wall, so they put the city logo on the side of the retaining wall.
Okay. Then I must be thinking of another city. Okay.
I struggle a little bit with having the Dayton, you're entering our city monument sign and the business park sign be the same sign, but maybe I can be convinced that that's the right way to go.
So what about the median, between the, right there? Yes.
Can't put any signs there. Well, there's a height limit.
Yes.
Is that by the state?
No, by the city, and I don't remember what it is offhand.
It's a
if
safety
it's
thing.
Like
I don't know how you get
2
cars
feet or 3 feet or something.
safely in and out of that without having a problem.
You'd have to set it back a ways to be probably not obstructing the view of traffic, so you could see to turn one direction or the other. Unless you have a stoplight there.
Are we on direction if we're looking for an update that sign?
I think there is I think there's
Yes.
a direction that we should keep exploring the
We
sign.
should explore how to do it.
You showed some concerns.
I do, but I'd like to see some examples of what this would look like.
We're working on it.
Because I think it could look nice, and it needs to. I guess for me, I don't know, and I understand the need or the desire to, give some attention to those businesses, because there's a bunch of them along that stretch. So I'd certainly be open to looking at some examples. The idea of making some deal on the rain tree sign, I think that's got some potential with me. I get concerned every time I drive by this place all the time, because you have to. But, it just, I don't want to make the image worse than it already is. I mean, you go by there and, sometimes you see a bunch of flag signs out there that say thrift store, and to me, it's like, nothing screams prosperity like a bunch of thrift store signs. So
Yeah.
if this is gonna look nice and it's gonna, do what you're and the other businesses are hoping for, is to, get some highlight on the fact that there are businesses on this road, I think it's worth pursuing, but I have some
Maybe she'll
concerns
drop
about
the flags
how it would look.
if she has the sign up.
Well, are those even allowed? But that's a different question.
I guess if I would add, I got two things. One is, if you have one, at least in this area, you should have two on the other side. And then we really should gauge the interest of kind of everyone in there to see whether or not they're actually interested in paying for additional signage.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
would be the only thing I would add. And then I suppose there's a third, which is if you do it in this area, I mean, you're opening yourself up if there's other areas, which is fine. I mean, ultimately, if the goal is to pull in additional businesses to fill this, then I think, and we think that's going to help, then I think it's, yeah, let's continue forward.
I would agree with you. I think it's bigger than just a sign for Raintree. I think the whole city really, as part of the EDA, it's like we're gonna someplace we're gonna have to deal with this again. Let's say you get a developer that wants to develop 20 acres by Dean's Manor and put a retail area in there.
What do we have? Yeah, I was gonna ask on DCM Farms, I'm sure they've asked for a sign probably of some kind, no?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's still to come.
Well, yeah, that's I would say, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, that's probably a little ways out. They don't even have comprehensive plan approval for a commercial area down there yet. So there's a lot of steps that would be required before they get to the point of discussing signage for possible tenants.
Dude, you got two silos. They can say anything they want. Hell of a sign. Jack's Winery, et cetera. Good for you. Okay, we have a direction then.
So I guess the direction I have, so two concepts. One is this, of working within the existing sign ordinance, assuming that we can increase the height from 8 feet to 16 feet, which I don't think there'd be a lot of opposition to. The second is to have a sign as large as possible that can fit every possible number of business names that are along the Balsam corridor. And whether, if that's 30, it's 30. If it's 20, it's 20.
Whatever the count is, and we make the segments countable and splittable on the screen. And if the person next to me doesn't want to do it and I want to take his spot, I can actually have two signs. You see how we can actually make that work? Either way, we'll fill the occupancy of the signs. If you don't, I will. If you won't yours, I'll do mine and yours, et cetera, et cetera. That make sense to you guys?
I'll just add that when this zoning district was approved, there was the intent of having as minimal signage as possible. That's why there's an 8-foot height difference on signs. That's also why the city code does not allow off-premise signs. You have to have your sign on your own business. So this does go against all of that.
Yeah, that was the 96 pages of the sign ordinance.
And we are the EDA, and our charter is to expand the commercial,
Promote.
And promote it
And retain.
and retain, so.
So we'll apply for an amendment if we have to make that happen at the council level. That work for you guys?
I agree.
Okay. I'll also add that all the sign vendors are busy, so I don't know if we'll have an answer by December.
Economic Development Specialist, G.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this item was brought up at the last month's council meeting of hiring a part-time, I'm calling it an economic development specialist to help out on EDA matters. In thinking about this more, the areas that this person would focus on is business retention expansion visits, Minnesota deed, RFPs, RFIs, the EDA strategy plan, and then just general permit review, which helps us as staff, not necessarily helps the EDA. Business retention expansion visits are essentially in-person visits that we should be conducting with every business that's in Dayton on kind of a rolling 1 to 3 year basis. As staff, we have not had time to do any of this. This is critical for understanding the business climate and what we can do to help out businesses. We just haven't had time to do this. So having another staff person would assist in this. The Minnesota deed, these RFPs, RFIs, so periodically, this is the Department of Employment and Economic Development will send out either a request for information or a request for proposal of properties for specific businesses. So a business will say, I'm looking for 40 acres for this type of use, and these are the parameters that I need. What do you have available? And then the response from the city is we have 40 acres available. This is what our capacity is for electricity, for sewer, what our traffic counts are, possibly what the cost is and who owns the property. It's very intensive, time intensive to respond to these, and the turnaround time is usually 2 weeks or less. So this is something where I'm going to say it's a lot of work on our end, but there's potential of a high reward if a business chooses to come here, which generally they don't. So we're competing with properties all over Minnesota and all over the country for this.
Yeah.
But it's important that we respond to this. So when we do work on these, but they tend to cause us to drop everything else that we're working on in order to provide a response. The EDA strategy plan, so this is on page 2 of your packet. Generally, this is the working orders that the EDA provided in 2022. This is, realistically, it's just a placeholder within the packet. We've not had time to make much progress on this. So this position would work towards the EDA goals on the strategy plan. And then permit review, generally, this helps us out as staff, so it's not necessarily directly tied to EDA matters. So this position would be, the EDA's ask was for a part-time position, so just averaging 20 hours a week, no benefits, and a pay grade of 7, that's roughly $45,000 to $55,000 a year. It is not a budgeted item. It would come from EDA reserves, which is limited.
What is direction from staff looking for right now?
Is this something you want to do?
I believe it's something we want to do, but we got to pick the right time. Guys?
That's what I was wondering, is that the alternative is, it says use IAG, I guess. I mean, to me, when I look at that list of focus areas, the retention and expansion visits is probably maybe not in there. The only thing I could see is IGA potentially, looking at the EDA strategy and trying to fill some of the needs there if we wanted to do temporary. I mean, obviously 175 sounds like a lot, but if you're only using 3-4 hours or 5 hours a month versus 20 hours a week, it's going to come out more favorably. And I'm all for this, but I'm wondering if we're quite ready for it.
That's a week.
For how much? For
At,
5 hours?
At IAG's numbers, 20 hours.
Oh, 20 hours. Well, hell, you wouldn't use them.
They're going to burn 20 hours in a heartbeat.
I would caution the EDA of not using reserves to fund staff positions. Like it's not reserves are a finite number. You're going to run out of money. Staff positions should be funded from the levy, not from reserves.
And I would agree with that, except for I don't think the EDA has any money coming from the levy, do we?
No, not much.
25,000 next year, and that just covers general operating
1 week
expenses.
So,
IAG.
I mean, if we
Oh,
had
yeah.
something.
I mean, if you're
I
using
think
the
we need
same
to do more.
hours, there's no question.
That's what we talked about for a long time.
If we had a levy and brought enough money in to cover this employee, I think that would be great.
No
But how do we-
pressure,
How do we
IAG.
change this?
That'd be 27 budget, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
26 is already
So,
done, right?
Yeah.
this slide was done by the city council?
No, I created this slide.
You
for this
created it,
meeting.
okay.
What were you going to say?
Well, Scott's not here, so I have to be the cheapest one in the room. I think this is a great discussion for the 27 budget. I think we're way too late in the game to do this for 26, and I would be opposed to using reserves to fund a permanent position. I think that's a bad way to budget, and it obligates the EDA and the city. Once you have somebody on board, you're not laying them off every other week because there's no work. I think we need to demonstrate that there's ongoing need for this. And I know where John's coming from. There's, because you've had a request in a couple of times now that hasn't yet been funded, but, you have to demonstrate that the work is there to me, before you go ahead and hire a permanent position. Because if we're not sure if the work is gonna go like this, then we should be paying IAG for that intermittent activity, not somebody every day, 40 hours a week or 20 hours a week on this half of it on an ongoing basis. I don't think we're there yet, so I think this is good discussion, but I think this is a 27 issue, and as we continue to ramp up the activity of this group, you know, I can certainly see using IAG more, and then there will be a point where, hey, we're paying 175 an hour times this many hours, we'd be better off having somebody on staff. But I don't think we're there today.
What's the time frame for the 27 budget?
We start talking about it in the
February until December.
Yeah.
That's when we talk
So you
budget.
start in February, basically?
No, it's usually around May.
May?
So these positions average of 20 hours per week. Where do you find somebody like that? I mean, are they working for some other community at the same rate and looking for a full-time job?
For a 20-hour-week job, I would look for someone that recently retired and isn't ready to retire. And just wants something to do.
Okay.
I think it's a great.
I would agree that at this point, we're not, I mean, I don't want to fund it from reserves either, I guess that would be my point. I think that defining and actually ranking what the actual benefit from each of these categories, so the way you describe the RFP, RFI process to me seems like something we should use at least in the stopgap, because that seems to be the most economically viable function at this point. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do see that as bringing additional businesses in if we're responding timely and we're being competitive and everything there. So I actually think it should be a conversation for the next budget, and then a definition of exactly what the benefit would be versus what the cost is. And in the meantime, I would be all for using IAG more to offset some of the work that is necessary to help staff.
So what I'm hearing is, not out of a budget we don't have. What if these guys score a home run on triangle and/or? Would you be willing to accelerate that table then?
No.
That would be a big what if, but
I have no doubt they're going to sell those pieces.
Yeah,
No
I'm still
doubt.
not.
Yeah, yep.
I'm
No,
still
I
not a
think
fan
that
of
that
operating
can
out
be a
of
big
reserves.
win, and that puts some money back in the bank, so to speak, for other projects. But for ongoing staffing costs, I think that needs to be on the levy, and it needs to be budgeted.
And I don't think IAG is gonna go away. Business retention, permit review, those types of things are all internal to the city. So, if we have a property we need listed and somebody to sell it, this isn't the person that's gonna do that anyway. So I think, IAG's position within the EDA is very, very secure. We're going to need them for a lot of things.
Then we need to empower.
Well, you wouldn't be replacing.
We need to empower these guys to start putting up our deeds and our RFIs and all that stuff. Is that the thing now too?
IAG?
Well, if we're going to use them as alternatives to our own person, is that
So
a thing you guys do?
Right now, it's staff that puts these together. It's sporadic. There are most months we don't hear anything from Deed. And then we'll have one or two a month. So, and it's very sporadic. The information that's required is also sporadic. So it may require a lot of work. It may be something that we've already put together for a previous RFP or RFI.
So give us an idea. That would be something like the facade funding that you had? Would that be?
No, this is responding, to a company that is looking for land somewhere, we'll say somewhere in the U.S. It could be Dayton, it could be Maryland.
Okay.
What is available in Dayton?
So I'm assuming also IAG gets that kind of request all the time too, from companies all over the country, right?
Correct. So we, as part of our advisory services, which is actually in the baseline agreement we have with you guys, excuse me, we help with strategic planning. So the third bullet point there, responding to RFPs, working with businesses and helping and promote economic development within cities. We do that all the time. That's part of our strategic planning services. So.
See, to me, and we talked about this a year or so ago, we have now a few properties that we specifically have asked IAG to look for owners or buyers or whatever. But also, like in our strategy, which probably needs to be updated, to me, it's about like, okay, here are the areas that we're looking for, and these are the things we're looking for, and you got a lot of people looking for things, and do they match? Does what we're looking for match with what he's got customers? And, we've talked about that. So I think we can do that. That seems to fit within our current contract with them and what EDA is trying to accomplish, including the Triangle and the Lent property as an example. Those are
Under the normal contract, non-billable. Under our normal contract.
under the normal contract.
Well, who's going to do deed preps and RFIs and RFPs then?
Well, I mean, one of the things we could do is forward those to IAG.
Well, that's why I was saying, do we empower them to handle this so they can have the time to do what they need to do and keep their
I
business?
mean, it's only one or two a month. I mean, to me, it kind of comes right into the advisory role because, I mean, they're getting their information from various different sources, right? One of those sources could be Minnesota Deed, as an example. If Minnesota Deed reaches out to us and says, hey, we got a company looking for whatever, a technology company looking for a business office, we could funnel that to them and say, what properties in Dayton might
Fit the bill.
fit it.
But we need to empower them to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So I would add, a lot of these, it's not necessarily property that's listed for sale. This is something that, as staff, we've heard of just through the grapevine, whether it's in recent months or recent years, that this may be available.
Right.
Just on what we've heard. It's not listed for sale, it's not actively for sale, it's for the right price it can be.
Right, so you gotta work it from really both
Yeah.
angles to say,
Yeah.
can we make this available, and then can we respond to
Yep,
it?
Yeah.
and with the deed RFPs, RFIs, I mean, when these come in, it might be a 20-hour project to put this through, and then there's nothing for 3 or 4 months.
That is the perk of working with us, is because we already have our baseline agreement in place and it's charged hourly, so it's not a permanent position per se in that regard. Like for example, on the sales side of it, we get paid at closing, so there's not an ongoing payroll if there is no work, is what I'm trying to get at. So it's just charged on an hourly basis, and if we have work, great. If you guys don't need us, we go away in that regard as far as these bullet points.
Self-hiring, self-firing. I like that.
Well, and I suspect that at some point, the city will have to decide
Yeah.
whether it's spending too much time on this or not. So, and then how's that transition? Even today, can some of that be transitioned to IAG, for instance?
Well, then as it stands, I'm hearing to move forward here because we're already at 8:30. We got new business to handle and we got closed sessions. We usually
I would make a motion that, I don't know if we need to make a motion, but that we take this position up and include it in the 27 budget so that it's on the May agenda or whatever. That's why I asked the time frame so that we can revisit this and not forget about it.
I'll just, I want to be clear, you do have a motion on it. No matter what the EDA does, the staff is still going to propose a full-time position for 2027.
For the city in
the
general.
city.
But that may not have specific duties for EDA, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It'll be a combination of several tasks. So part of it will be EDA, a lot of it will not.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what, like we've struggled with in the past is that, EDA ends up being the stepchild, so to speak, and never gets any support because, there's a lot of city things that have to be done, and understandably, and I think that's where you get into this, well, if you're gonna hire a position in the 27 budget for city duties, is there really enough bandwidth for EDA or not? And if there's not, then I think we should, and that's part of the budget discussion, right? So,
So we have a motion on the floor to accept that and transfer it up to main council. Do we have a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
You got it.
Weber.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
And
Let's move it
just
upstairs.
Clarity for the minutes, the direction is to include this within the 2027 budget.
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
and put it on the May agenda, or whatever agenda makes sense.
Well, let's move it upstairs, let them handle it. We're just the stepchild. Moving on, concept plans. We are shorter on time, so let's move this, let's make this happen. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, members of the EDA, the city recently received a concept plan application from Graco. They have requested us to review this concept plan that's before you regarding a relocation of their global headquarters to Dayton, Minnesota. The facility is about 100,000 square feet in floor area total, a 3-story office building, and the property owners and applicant have stated that at time of full use, there is projected to be between 250 and 300 employees at this facility. So this was a high-level concept that was reviewed, introduced to all the commissions here within the city. And then you can see to the west there, there's some dashed lines that show potential for another future building, whether that's warehousing or manufacturing. It's a large parcel, so this is going to be parceled off into its own parcel once it's platted. But this is just kind of the initial introduction to the project.
Is this the parcel between the two big buildings they
It
already
is.
have?
Yes.
Part of
Okay.
it.
And so,
Just
okay,
part.
there you go. You got that. So it's that piece of land in between the two big buildings.
Yeah, where the stormwater ponds are to the north on this picture is essentially where the building would be oriented to, kind of on the corner.
So Graco, the road that goes around, I guess that would be the south side of that building there, that's their line?
No, it's not. The property almost goes out to Brockton Lane. These are just the private streets that are within the properties itself.
is this where Graco ends, or this is a different building?
These two are Graco here.
Yeah, that one.
Yep, that's the Capital Partners building. Correct, yep.
Pretty big piece.
And the orientation on that concept plan is the parking lot is toward the lake?
No, it's
No.
actually flipped. So the building is towards the lake and the
Toward the-
parking is internal.
It goes built, from this screen, it's the building, then parking lot, and then potential manufacturing or future expansion below it,
Here.
other side, right in the
Right
middle.
here,
Yep.
I think, yeah, there we go.
There you go.
So they will be working diligently through the winter to prepare plans and come back with a formal application for preliminary and final plat. Site plan review, this property is subject to some shoreland requirements due to proximity to French Lake. So we'll be working out those items as well. But this will be an ongoing entitlement process likely through the winter and spring of 2026.
That'll keep you busy. I was at that meeting. I did present to council and applicants if they were introducing any higher than normal buildings, and they had no appetite for that. Just so you know,
Higher than normal, like elevation
not
wise?
59 feet tall, but like
Oh.
multi-story buildings. And again, there was no appetite for that. You know, put an IDS in there or something.
Yeah, and just to build off of that, we have discussed with the applicants, they are planning to build for their full potential, is what they have stated for this office space. So this would be building slow relocation from where they are now. It's likely not going to have 250 to 300 employees right when it opens up, but eventually over time, they plan to grow into the facility. So this is a long-term facility that they will utilize.
Are they asking for any TIF or any of that on?
No, there hasn't been any discussions related to TIF or tax abatement. However, I do believe that City Administrator Dowd has been in conversations with potential fee reductions regarding the development overall. Obviously, that's
Just
subject to
Feeder
decision
done.
by the city council. so.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say we're pretty lucky to have world headquarters in our city.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, if we could, like we've been talking for several years, if we could get more of this
Yep.
versus warehouses, that would really benefit the
Yep.
city from a
Now, IGA
overall tax perspective, employee, high income employment,
IGA, this is the difference between commercial and industrial.
In what regard? Are you
Well, this is the difference if we were looking at the triangle between
Oh.
commercial and industrial.
correct? Yeah,
This is our high tax value here,
Yep.
where industrial is not.
right.
Because I think when we had that conversation with you the other day, is like, you're going to get, I don't know, I'm just using as an example, 10 inquiries about warehouse space availability, and you're going to get one inquiry or whatever about this kind of space. But this kind of space is worth significantly more to us as a city than.
The tax base is much higher.
Okay, we should move forward here.
So that's what we're looking for.
Well, can I just ask one question? So, does this headquarters come in have any effect on the triangle?
Absolutely. It's very positive, so. Yeah. Now, there are different areas in the city, and kind of our thoughts and discussions previously in this year about the use and highest and best use and what the market is telling us for the triangle lot. The triangle lot would still indicate it's more industrial use versus this type of office. Not saying that that's the direction that we have to go, but that's what the market is telling us in the South Dayton, so.
The other thing I think we got to think about is when you add something like this and you have 250 employees, they want somewhere to go to lunch.
Yep.
They want somewhere, and so we need to be thinking about, okay, where are our retail type locations going to be
And not-
within some.
And not in Rogers.
Yeah, and not in Rogers.
Or not in Champlin.
Within some
Yeah.
proximity to this
Right.
facility. So I think that's something else we ought to be thinking hard about while we look at what property is available and, because I can tell you, they're going to want a place to go eat lunch. I mean, they may have a cafeteria, but there's still going to be a lot of people that want to go out.
If only we had a space in Old Town we could put a brewery on. Okay, moving forward, we got to move forward, guys. Were you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Everybody else good on that?
Good.
Yes.
Pursuant to clause Minnesota Statute 13D05, subsection C3, we are going to have a closed session to be conducting, developing, considering, or offers, counteroffers to the purchase, sale of retail property, personal property located at 183X Robinson Street, PID 31-121-22-31-0056. We are now in closed session.
in the open session.
We are back in open session. Where are we going from here?
There was I think,
Motion to sell.
EDA wanted to make a motion to list the Robinson Street
Go ahead.
property.
All right, for PID 121, 22, 31, 0056, we have a motion to sell. Who
To
made that
list
motion?
for sale. To list the property for
To
sale.
list the property for sale, yes.
Yeah.
Sean did.
Yeah. Whichever, yeah.
Okay, so now
I'll
we need a
second it.
motion to sell. We got a second. All in favor of selling this PID?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And just to be clear, the motion is to list the
List,
property.
not to sell.
For sale, not to sell it.
List the property for
We don't
sale.
have a buyer yet.
List the
Yeah.
property for sale, yes.
Yes.
All right, now we gotta go back into closed session.
Yes.
In pursuant to 13D05 subsection 3C, we're going to talk about PID 31, 120, 22, 13, 0010. We're back into closed session right now. Back in open session, we have conducted our business. Staff updates, do we have a quick verbal?
Do we have to do a listing on this one?
Listing.
So the direction from the closed session was to put the Triangle property up for sale to entertain offers.
That is our
So we
direction.
need to make a motion for that like we did on the last property?
Preferably, yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to list
Here, let me
the,
start this.
go ahead.
I want a motion on the floor so that we can sell this piece of property.
Okay,
Do we have a motion?
yes.
Second.
I second the motion.
So we have to buy and purchase this, and we're gonna second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries to purchase said triangle and better our environment over there.
Yeah, so previous motion earlier in the council, or earlier in the EDA was already to purchase it, so this one is to list it for sale.
Listed.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to skip over what's normally month to month. The previously owned EDA property that was sold has been put on its permanent foundation. The house was moved off of Three Rivers property onto a property on Shady View and is now on the permanent foundation. So that was last week.
Nice.
Yep. Coat Drive, the city is sponsoring a coat drive between October 1st to December 14th, so any coats can be delivered to the Dayton Police Department. The coat drive is specifically looking for adult coats that is suitable for a Minnesota winter. The main sponsor of this is the Salvation Army. Light show, you can register online at the city's website if you'd like to have lights on your house. The obligation is that the house be lit between December 1st through December 31st. Let's see, park names. So if we have the Area 21 park that's kind of in the Sundance Greens and Balsam, I keep thinking Balsam.
Pineville. Or Brockton.
Rayburn. Help me out here. Rayburn area. So top 5 names is Dayton Farms Park, Coyote Crossing, Sunburn Park, Sunburn Farms Park, and Area 21. So you can go to the city's website and vote between up until November 26th, which is the day before Thanksgiving.
None of the other.
Hall of Dayton will be held Thursday, December 4th at 6 p.m. So this is lighting of the city's tree, as well as we'll have food vendors and different characters in a light parade. So this is our 3rd year doing this, and we've had a huge turnout every year, no matter what the temperature is. Okay, Mayor for a Day contest for 4th, 5th, 6th graders. This is through the League of Minnesota Cities. The deadline is December 12th. So the question is, what would you do if you were mayor for a day? Elevate Hennepin. So Dayton will be hosting Thriving Thursdays on Thursday, December 18th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I would encourage anyone that is able to attend. It could be of interest. Hennepin will provide consultants for business strategy and legal. So last council meeting, or last EDA meeting, the EDA was asked to provide suggestions for what types of consultants to provide, and I think there were 4 or 5 that we asked for and had been, so they could only bring 2. So the 2 they're bringing is legal and business strategy. Last,
How are we getting the word out on that? 'Cause the
Hennepin
people we
is-
want to get to attend is businesses or potential businesses?
This is open to businesses across Hennepin County, or small
Oh,
businesses.
the whole Hennepin County.
Not specific
Not
to
just
Dayton.
Dayton, okay.
The only way we have is through social media. The county also does this through social media all over. They're much better at this than we are. They have much broader viewing than we do.
Okay.
It's from 11 to 1.
Yes, over the lunch hours. Through Elevate Hennepin, the county can provide up to 25 hours of consulting time to local businesses. Last month, there was a question that was asked of what is the value of Elevate Hennepin. So we had, Elevate Hennepin had issued or provided I think it was a 6-month kind of synopsis of what they've done in Hennepin County as well as Dayton. I believe there were 5 Dayton businesses, maybe 4, that had used Elevate Hennepin. None of them were participated in the survey that the county brought out. Question was, who are these businesses and what was their experience? I did reach out to them and the 4 or 5 and only heard back from 1. So this is being Agile Consulting, and I've got a quote that was provided to them, or provided by them. So I've had a great experience with Elevate Hennepin over the years. I originally used their services to help build my business website, and I'm currently working with a digital marketing strategist through the program to strengthen my online presence. It's such a valuable resource for small and medium-sized businesses in our county. I really appreciate the support they provide. So this is from Karen, and I apologize if I mispronounce this, Karen Fung, Being Agile Consulting, that is located in Dayton.
What's your back one so I catch a date?
12.
11/13.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sent us a meeting invite.
I'm sorry?
I said you sent a meeting
Oh,
invite
yes.
for this.
Yes.
And it is at Dayton City Hall, okay. Thank you.
Okay. And
Do we have any takers on this? Who's going?
I'll go.
I was gonna try to show up.
I'm gonna try to show up.
Our cost to participate in Elevate Hennepin is $2,500 a year. So this is a great, the return on investment is huge compared to what we could do on our own.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yes, and then the next EDA meeting is Tuesday, December 16th at 7:30 a.m.
Any last draws before we put a fork in this two-hour deal? We covered a lot of material today. Proud of the group, personally speaking. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I.
Motion adjourned.